White Brook 85 here on the Delmarva Peninsula today. Have a two-man ladder stand, 15-foot elevation, that I'm going to go ahead and put together and place down at a farm. Not the one I usually go to, but a different one. And I know you've probably seen a lot of or know how to put these together, but I just wanted to give you a few things on what I do when I'm putting these together as far as some painting, some camouflage goes, some rail pads, etc. Again, this is not going to be a complete step-by-step on how to put this together. I'm sure you guys know how to do that already, but it's going to be a little bit more of what I do to prepare the stand before I put it out in the field to make it last longer, to make sure we don't have to get any rust on it, and a little bit of camouflage. Again, but this type of stand, most guys don't even paint these because they're so small. It's not like you have a big block that it's going to stand out in the woods. The stand you may be made out of 4x4s and plywood, and this one is more, it's almost going to look like a tree branch anyway, so you don't really have to do too much to it. The more is, one, to make it your own, make it personalized, and two, to make it a little bit weather resistant, to keep that going instead of lasting 4, 5, 6 years. It maybe last 8 or 10 years out there safely in the stand or longer. So I'm going to go ahead and open the box up, start putting the parts out. Have some horses in the background to use for a little bit of painting, so I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. So when you're putting one of these together, you want to have a nice big area where you can lay everything out, keep everything nice and organized for yourself. The stand part, our instructions, the only tool that it needs, adjustable wrench, and this is the Ameristep 8500 stand, and we have our parts we can attach to the tree with, and all our nuts and bolts. It does come with a DVD that probably has, I haven't seen it, I haven't looked at it, but I'm guessing it has a little bit of safety tips in there, and it might have a hunt or two with somebody sitting in one of these stands. And I got this all laid out in the driveway, nice and orderly, so I can get this together. I won't get confused, won't lose any parts in the grass. If you are going to do it in the grass, may suggest you want to get a tarp out so you don't lose any of those nuts or bolts. It does come with washers, and they are blue, and that is to reduce the noise when you have a couple parts together. So it is supposed to be fairly silent sitting up in there. The worst thing you can have is a stand that creaks every time you move. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting the actual seat part together, and then we're going to go ahead and get onto these steps that are really the only parts that are going to show. I am going to put a wrap around the stand itself. In its worldwide trip from its manufacturing place, I'm sure you can guess where that is. It did get a few scratches here or there, here and in the transportation to the store and home and with me. So every time you have one of those scratches, it gets down to that metal, you're going to have a little bit of rust. So we do want to cover that up if we can. As you can see, you have the seat and footrest attached. I am using some sawhorses to make it easy, nice level height. I also suggest to do that. Those blue washers that I was talking about to deaden the squeaks. I wore some of the paint off of some of these wires, which I'm not really worried about. I'm going to go back and do a little touch up on this anyway, so it really doesn't concern me that much. And I am going to make sure I hit some of these spots where I think we're going to have a little bit of rubbing. So it's getting there, and we'll go ahead and continue on. And here we go. Basically the stand is together, except for the legs, the last two sections of the legs that are very easy to put on. They're just some quick clips for that, and I probably won't put those on until I get down to the spot I want to actually put the stand in a particular tree. Won't put it on until I get there. But at this point, I want to go get the paint and go ahead and hit these. Again, the nuts are always going to rust first, so I'm definitely going to hit those. I want to get all these nuts done. You can see there's quite a few of them, and a couple of the spots that's scratched up. I'm going to go ahead and hit also. If you can see the back on this, just one bar, that's going to hit you basically right in the kidneys as you're sitting there. and it makes it very, very uncomfortable. And that's one flaw in this stand design, which could be improved. You really need something for your backrest there. If you're going to put any kind of time in the stand, more than 2 or 3 hours, you definitely need something for your back, because it's really going to hurt. It's going to end up making you fidget and end up getting out of the tree sooner, or moving, of course, at the worst time when a deer is approaching. So definitely going to do something for that. I'm going to probably put a foam piece like I would shooting rail rest, and go ahead and get the paints out and start hitting it with some paint. I've got it set up on the horses here. I'm going to go around and hit some primer spots. Every nut and every bolt I'm going to go ahead and cover with the primer, and then come back and put some type of camo paint on. Especially hitting some of these spots like this, that we have a piece of metal on top of each other. This is a piece of step, so you know that's going to rub a little bit. So I'll hit a little paint in here if I can. Same with over on this side. This empty tube right here, want to hit it definitely in there. This rain may get in there and sit. Okay, hit around all those bolts just with the gray primer around each one. And some of these areas that I know are going to rub, like the legs where the ladder will attach. So that's coated over. Just basically rust proofing your nuts and bolts, which is certainly good. Hit a little bit of camouflage on some of it right now. And I do have something that I picked up a long time ago, some 3D leafing that I'm going to go ahead and put on. Just have some of this Rust-Oleum camouflage, different color paints. And here's that Eastman 3D camo tape. And again, I picked this up a long time ago on sale somewhere. I can't even remember where. It's been so long. So I'm going to put a little bit of that on there right now. Here's the camo tape. It's basically the same material you can get for the blinds to build yourself a blind. I have some tape right here. Not sure how long that's going to last, so I think I'm going to put maybe a tie wrap around it also, just to make sure it stays in place. Do a couple pieces like this bar right here for the just a stabilizer bar. A couple things that may show just to see how this stuff works. Goes on pretty easy, and again, how long would it stay on there? That's a really good question. Well, the 3D camo tape, well, it actually looks pretty good. Does definitely give it a 3D look, and it's certainly camoed better than I could ever do. So I'm just probably going to hit a couple more spots. Well, here's the top. I just splash a color on, basically what would be the old style woodland camo. And really two things, just to break up the silhouette, and two, to put an extra coat on the powder coat itself, just to keep the stamp from rusting. Over here, have the other two sections, the bottom and middle section. I'm going to paint a little differently, and I'll show you how to do that. And some of the straps to attach it to the tree, and of course the shooting rail pad and the seat, and a couple of the harnesses so you won't fall out. So just about done. Going to put it away for today, and pick up the painting when it's not raining out.